Want to speak real Czech from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at czechclass101.com.
Ahoj, já jsem Veronika. Těší mě. Hi, I'm Veronika. Nice to meet you. In this series, you are going to learn basic Czech expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you are going to learn how to introduce yourself in Czech. You'll start speaking right away, but first, it's important to clarify that in Czech, there is a difference between the formal and the informal language. Let's first see how Czech people introduce themselves in an informal situation. Ahoj, já jsem Veronika. Ráda tě poznávám. Hi, I'm Veronika. Nice to meet you. Ahoj, já jsem Veronika. Ráda tě poznávám. For males, the form of ráda changes to rád. Ahoj, já jsem Petr. Rád tě poznávám. Hi, I'm Petr. Nice to meet you. Ahoj, já jsem Petr. Rád tě poznávám. Start by saying ahoj, já jsem. Then say your name. Ahoj, já jsem Veronika. Finally say ráda tě poznávám if you are a female or rád tě poznávám if you are a male. Ahoj, já jsem Veronika. Ráda tě poznávám. Ahoj, já jsem Petr. Rád tě poznávám. And now let's see the same sentence in formal speech. Dobrý den, já jsem Veronika Nová. Ráda vás poznávám. Good day, I'm Veronika Nová. Nice to meet you. Dobrý den. Já jsem Veronika Nová. Ráda vás poznávám. And again, the form of ráda changes to rád for males. Dobrý den, já jsem Petr Nový. Rád vás poznávám. Hi, I'm Petr Nový. Nice to meet you. Dobrý den. Já jsem Petr Nový. Rád vás poznávám. So what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these expressions together. Ahoj has been substituted with the formal greeting Dobrý den, Czech for good day. Já jsem Veronika has not been changed. Já jsem simply means I am. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said Veronika Nová. Here you would say your full name. Finally, pay attention to the ending. We went from tě poznávám to vás poznávám. What changes is the Czech word for you in the accusative case. In a formal sentence, we use the more polite word vás. One more time, the informal way to introduce yourself in Czech is Ahoj, já jsem Veronika. Ráda tě poznávám, for females. And Ahoj, já jsem Petr. Rád tě poznávám, for males. The formal way to introduce yourself is Dobrý den, já jsem Veronika Nová. Ráda vás poznávám, for females. And Dobrý den, já jsem Petr Nový. Rád vás poznávám, for males. Now it's time for Veronika's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands. If you are not sure whether to use ráda tě poznávám, rád tě poznávám, ráda vás poznávám, or rád vás poznávám, just say simply těší mě. As I said at the beginning of this lesson, těší mě means I am pleased to meet you. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners as you thank people. Připraveni? Are you ready? Tak začneme. So let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. Děkuju. Děkuju. Děkuju means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add moc. Děkuju moc. Moc means a lot. So děkuju moc is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we discussed the informal and the formal way of speaking Czech. Děkuju is the casual way to thank someone. If you want to be more formal, there is another phrase you should use. Děkuju vám. Děkuju vám. Let's break this phrase down. Děkuju means thanks. Vám is a formal word for you in the dative case. Notice that we don't use vás, as in the last lesson. We will discuss Czech pronouns in more depth in a later lesson. The full sentence once again. Děkuju vám. How do you answer? It's easy. Here are two different ways to do it. The first is prosím. Prosím. This means you're welcome. Prosím can be used with just about anybody. The other way to say you are welcome is the expression není zač. Není zač. Literally, this phrase means there is nothing to thank me for, or you don't have to thank me. But it has become a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone says děkuju to you, you can simply reply with prosím or není zač. Now it's time for Veronica's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use děkuju or děkuju vám, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Děkuju can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time. In spoken Czech, you can also hear the word díky. It is a very casual and easy way to thank someone. In this lesson, you will learn some of the most common greetings used in the Czech Republic. Připraveni? Are you ready? Tak začneme. So let's start. The most common informal greeting is ahoj. Ahoj. Ahoj means hi or hello. We should only use this greeting with friends or relatives. The most common formal greetings will change depending on the time of day. Let's start with dobrý den. Dobrý den. Literally, dobrý den means good day. As a rule of thumb, we can use dobrý den only during the daytime, from late morning until early evening. In the morning, we say dobré ráno, which means good morning. Dobré ráno. During the evening, we say dobrý večer. Dobrý večer. Den, ráno, and večer are Czech for day, morning, and evening, respectively. Easy, right? Dobrý is the form of the adjective used in combination with masculine nouns, and dobré is the form we use with neuter nouns. It means good. What should you say when you leave? Czech people usually say na shledanou when leaving in a formal situation. Na shledanou. Na shledanou means goodbye. If we say goodbye to friends or our relatives, we use the informal word ahoj. Ahoj. Maybe you have already noticed, but informal hello and goodbye are the same in Czech. In both situations, we simply say ahoj. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Czech. Let's review them all again. First, the greetings. Informally, we simply say ahoj. Formally, use dobré ráno in the morning, dobrý den in the afternoon, and dobrý večer in the evening. When leaving in a formal situation, we say na shledanou. And in an informal situation, it's ahoj. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Veronica's insights. You can also hear other greetings in the Czech Republic. For example, young people might use nazdar for hello when they meet each other. It is also very common to use the word čau for both hello and goodbye in informal situations. But I'm sure you could guess what it means if you happen to hear it in the streets. In this lesson, you are going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, This phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Czech, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you are saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to say it. Mluvíš anglicky? Mluvíš anglicky? In Czech, verbs change depending on the person that they refer to. The first word is the verb mluvíš, which means to speak. Because it is referring to the second person, you, it is conjugated to mluvíš. And you probably recognize anglicky to be English, though anglicky is not a noun, but an adverb. Mluvíš anglicky? We're now going to make this sentence formal. The person which the verb refers to is going to change to the formal version of you. Because of this, the verb will be conjugated differently. It becomes mluvíte instead of mluvíš, like in the informal version. Everything else stays the same. Mluvíte anglicky? Mluvíte anglicky? If you add promiňte, excuse me, the sentence becomes even more polite. Promiňte, mluvíte anglicky? Promiňte, mluvíte anglicky? The responses you will receive could be one of these three. Ano, yes, ano. Trochu, a little. Trochu. Ne, nemluvím anglicky. No, I don't speak English. Ne, nemluvím anglicky. Since this last one is a negative statement, we need to attach ne to the verb mluvit. Notice also that the form mluvím is slightly different than mluvit. Remember, the verb changes depending on the person it refers to. We are now talking about ourselves. Thus, I do not speak is nemluvím. Now it's time for Veronica's insights. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can obviously use this question with any language you need. Czech people study other European languages at school, so maybe you will get lucky. Just substitute anglicky with italsky for Italian, rusky for Russian, španělsky for Spanish, francouzsky for French, and so on. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase promiňte, mluvíte anglicky, which means, excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the word promiňte, which means excuse me in formal Czech. In this lesson, you are going to learn how to use promiňte and other words when apologizing in Czech. We should use promiňte in formal situations, such as when asking for a seat on a train. For example, promiňte, je tady volno? Which means, excuse me, is the seat free? We can also use it when asking another question. Promiňte, kde je tady východ? Which means, excuse me, where is the exit, please? Sometimes we also hear people say, prosím vás, which means the same thing when you want to draw somebody's attention. We use this phrase in formal speech. Prosím vás. The informal way to say excuse me is prosím tě. Prosím tě. Just like prosím vás, we can use prosím tě when asking a question. Maybe you already remember from lesson 1 that tě and vás mean you in the accusative case. Tě is the informal version and vás is formal. If you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use a different phrase. That phrase is omlouvám se. It means I'm sorry and can be used in both formal and informal situations. Omlouvám se. First we have omlouvám, from the Czech verb for to apologize, omlouvat. When this is conjugated for I in Czech, it is omlouvám. Se is used in the reflexive form of the verb omlouvat. Now it's time for Veronica's insights. Please remember that in the Czech Republic, if you accidentally bump into someone, we don't say I'm sorry, which is omlouvám se. Instead, we say promiňte or promiň.
When learning a new language, we sometimes have a hard time with things like procrastination, discouragement, or failure. But don't panic. With a good strategy, you'll be able to overcome these difficulties. Are you ready to discover the 4 habits of successful learners? Number 1, optimize your time. When learning a language, it's important to dedicate time to your studies regularly, even if sometimes it's difficult. You're busy with school, work, family, or friends, but you can spread out your learning throughout the day. Study whenever you have small gaps of time in your busy schedule. This can be when you're on the metro, on your lunch break, or while you're exercising. Our podcast learning format fits perfectly into your tight schedule. Number 2, consistency with your chosen method. There are a lot of options when it comes to courses and learning materials. Switching from one method to another can confuse you and disrupt your progress. Focusing on one learning method will make a difference. Our method has been created and optimized by real teachers, so you can stick to it with confidence. Number 3, use your language background. Many languages share some commonalities. You can find words that look or sound similar, or even share the same grammar structure. A little bit of language background will give you an edge while learning. Number 4, study continuously. People are excited when they start learning a new language. The enthusiasm usually lasts until the first roadblock. This can lead to discouragement and procrastination. But don't burn yourself out. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try to learn it all at once. Break things down into more digestible chunks. Learning step by step might feel slow, but it's an efficient way to learn a language. With patience, motivation, and good resources, you'll master the language. Remember, you can't learn a language overnight, but with motivation and these daily lessons, you'll be on the road to fluency. Give it a try now. Sign up for your account. Just click the link in the description.
Want to speak real Czech from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at czechclass101.com.
Já jsem Tom.
Já jsem Mary.
Těší mě.
Také mě těší.
Tak tě vítám. Pojď dál.
Díky. Tady je malý dárek. Snad se ti bude líbit.
Mockrát děkuju.
Není zač. Au. Promiňte?
Ano?
Moje noha.
Aha, omlouvám se. Ahoj,
Ahoj.
jak se máš?
Děkuju, dobře. Dobrý večer.
Promiňte, můžete mi dát jídelní lístek?
Ano, chvilinku, prosím.
Promiňte, můžete mi také dát vodu?
Jistě.
Promiňte, už bych si chtěl objednat.
Dobře.
You are at a train station where you're attempting to buy an express ticket from a ticket machine. Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? The option on the bottom left is for an express ticket.
Rychlíková jízdenka.
You are at a train station where you've just bought an express ticket. Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in train car number 1 in the 8th row in seat C.
První vagón, 8. řada, sedadlo C.
You are at a train station where you're reading the train schedule for an express ticket that you've just bought. On which days are there no express trains running? On which days are there no express trains running? There are no express trains running on public holidays and the third Sunday of every month.
Dny pracovního klidu, 3. neděle v měsíci.
You are on a platform at a train station where you're waiting for your train. Suddenly, a message appears on the display. What does the message on the display mean? What does the message on the display mean? The display reads, "The next train will not stop."
Vlak nezastavuje.
You are at a train station where you're looking for the best exit to catch a taxi. Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? You should take the east exit in order to get to the taxi rank.
Východní východ.
Does having a study partner help you learn a language faster? For most people, having a friend or romantic partner who is a native speaker of their target language dramatically improves their ability to master the language. In this video, we'll talk about some ways to help you build relationships with people. We'll also talk about 3 reasons having a native speaker partner can improve your language fluency. First, knowing a native speaker helps you better understand the culture. Knowing a native speaker gets you connected with the culture in ways that no lessons or textbooks ever could. Native speakers are better informed about the latest slang expressions and know interesting places to eat and hang out. Having a friend or partner who is a native speaker can dramatically improve your understanding of the language. In addition to language, you can learn about cultural practices, gestures, and relationships. Second, having a native speaker partner increases your exposure to the language. Practice makes perfect is a well-known expression that is certainly true for language learning. When you have a friend, romantic partner, or study buddy, you speak to them through text messages, phone calls, and basic interaction. These are all opportunities for you to practice the language. Making an effort to practice will help your vocabulary quickly expand beyond simple greetings, flirtatious words, and basic comments to deeper, more meaningful conversations. Third, a supportive partner is the best study aid you can find. We all make mistakes, especially when trying to learn a new language. But if you have a supportive partner, they can gently point out your mistakes and help you find better ways to express yourself. And if your native speaker study partner is also your romantic partner, your motivation will likely be even higher than someone who does not have a romantic relationship with a native speaker. Now, let's look at 3 ways our language learning program helps you learn even faster if you have a native speaker partner. First, all resources and materials are available in English and in your target language. Studying with a partner is special because it's an opportunity for both of you to learn a new language. That's why every single lesson, transcript, vocabulary list, and resource on our website is available in English and in your target language. You can learn from each other. Second, lessons are designed to help you understand and engage with culture. On our website, our focus is to help our students learn practical vocabulary and phrases that are actually used in everyday conversation. This means that from your very first lesson, you can start applying what you learn immediately. So if you want to go out to a restaurant, play games, or attend a social function with your partner, you'll have the vocabulary and phrases necessary to have a great time. Third, access to special resources dedicated to romantic phrases. If your study partner is your romantic partner, we have resources to help you communicate your feelings correctly. Our language learning program has special sections and tools to teach you love words, phrases, and cultural insights. Of course, please remember that simply being in a relationship is no substitute for studying. Communication is key to every relationship, whether romantic or not. If you fail to continue expanding your vocabulary and you stop learning the language on your own, your relationships may suffer or fizzle out. Without question, spending time with native speakers can help you dramatically improve your language proficiency. But this is no replacement for focused studying. It's essential to help facilitate better communication and master the language. So, if you're ready to finally learn a new language the fast, fun, and easy way, sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Signing up takes less than 30 seconds, and you'll start speaking from your very first lesson. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
You just got a text message from your hotel's pickup service. What does the first number refer to? What does the first number refer to? The number in the text message refers to the customer code.
Zákaznický kód.
You're checking out the hotel's facilities when you see a notice on a door. What does the notice mean? What does the notice mean? The notice reads, "Do not enter."
Nevstupujte.
You search online for the nearest bus service. What bus service does the page show? What bus service does the page show? The web page shows a free bus service.
Bezplatná autobusová doprava.
You're about to enter a small shop, but there's a handwritten note on the door. What does the message on the note mean? What does the message on the note mean? The note reads, "I'll be right back."
Budu hned zpátky.
There's a national holiday coming up, and you notice that shops have special notices about having different opening hours. From when will the opening hours return to normal? From when will the opening hours return to normal? The notice says that the opening hours will be back to normal on January 7th.
7. ledna.
Muž schání ve zlatnictví narozeninový dárek pro svou ženu. Jaký náhrdelník jí koupí? Mohu vám pomoct?
Sháním narozeninový dárek pro svou ženu. Co byste mi doporučila?
Co třeba tenhle náhrdelník?
Vypadá trochu moc dlouhý.
Co tady tyhle? Máme jeden s květinovým přívěskem a další se srdíčkem.
Hledám něco trochu více rafinovaného. Kolik stojí ten perlový náhrdelník?
100 000 korun.
To je moc drahé. Dobře, vezmu si ten první.
Samozřejmě, tady je. Jaký náhrdelník jí koupí? Muž schání ve zlatnictví narozeninový dárek pro svou ženu. Jaký náhrdelník jí koupí? Mohu vám pomoct?
Sháním narozeninový dárek pro svou ženu. Co byste mi doporučila?
Co třeba tenhle náhrdelník?
Vypadá trochu moc dlouhý.
Co tady tyhle? Máme jeden s květinovým přívěskem a další se srdíčkem.
Hledám něco trochu více rafinovaného. Kolik stojí ten perlový náhrdelník?
100 000 korun.
To je moc drahé. Dobře, vezmu si ten první.
Samozřejmě, tady je. Muž a žena se baví o tiskárnách v kanceláři. Kde je stará tiskárna?
Kam bychom měli dát novou tiskárnu?
Myslím, že bychom ji měli dát tam, kde je teď stará tiskárna.
Ale stará tiskárna pořád funguje. Budeme ji pořád používat.
OK, takže novou tam dát nemůžeme.
To je špatné. Bylo by fajn mít novou na polici u dveří, ale jediné místo pro tiskárnu je támhle.
Dobře tedy. Myslím, že bychom ji měli dát na opačnou stranu místnosti.
Dobře. Co třeba k oknu?
To zní dobře. Kde je stará tiskárna? Muž a žena se baví o tiskárnách v kanceláři. Kde je stará tiskárna?
Kam bychom měli dát novou tiskárnu?
Myslím, že bychom ji měli dát tam, kde je teď stará tiskárna.
Ale stará tiskárna pořád funguje. Budeme ji pořád používat.
OK, takže novou tam dát nemůžeme.
To je špatné. Bylo by fajn mít novou na polici u dveří, ale jediné místo pro tiskárnu je támhle.
Dobře tedy. Myslím, že bychom ji měli dát na opačnou stranu místnosti.
Dobře. Co třeba k oknu?
To zní dobře. Muž telefonuje se svou ženou. Co se chystá koupit?
Ahoj, jedu domů.
Mohl bys po cestě něco koupit?
Jasně. Co mám koupit?
Potřebujeme mléko a chleba na zítra na snídani.
Mléko a chleba, rozumím. Kolik krabic mléka?
1 stačí.
Dobře. Ještě něco?
Moment, podívám se, jestli máme máslo. Jo, ještě nějaké máme.
Dobře. Zbylo nám ještě nějaké pivo?
Ano, máme tam ještě 1 láhev.
Fajn, takže nemusím žádné kupovat.
Myslím, že už nic nepotřebujeme. Co se chystá koupit? Muž telefonuje se svou ženou. Co se chystá koupit?
Ahoj, jedu domů.
Mohl bys po cestě něco koupit?
Jasně. Co mám koupit?
Potřebujeme mléko a chleba na zítra na snídani.
Mléko a chleba, rozumím. Kolik krabic mléka?
1 stačí.
Dobře. Ještě něco?
Moment, podívám se, jestli máme máslo. Jo, ještě nějaké máme.
Dobře. Zbylo nám ještě nějaké pivo?
Ano, máme tam ještě 1 láhev.
Fajn, takže nemusím žádné kupovat.
Myslím, že už nic nepotřebujeme. Posloucháte předpověď počasí. Jaká je předpověď? Ráno a dopoledne budeme mít slunečno. Odpoledne však bude zataženo a v noci bude pršet. Bude pršet celou noc až do rána, kdy opět vyjde slunce. Jaká je předpověď? Posloucháte předpověď počasí. Jaká je předpověď? Ráno a dopoledne budeme mít slunečno. Odpoledne však bude zataženo a v noci bude pršet. Bude pršet celou noc až do rána, kdy opět vyjde slunce. Muž a žena se baví o designu firemní vizitky. Pro který design se rozhodli?
Dostali jsme několik designů firemní vizitky. Co myslíš, který z nich je nejlepší?
Ukáž. Myslím, že jméno společnosti by mělo být větší.
Dobrá, tak potom by to měla být některá z těchto.
Správně. Tyhle se mi líbí, protože jméno společnosti je velké a nahoře.
Jedna z nich má místo na fotku. Co myslíš?
Myslím, že to trochu moc zmenšuje text.
To je fakt. Text by byl těžko čitelný s fotkou.
Dobře, vybereme tu druhou. Pro který design se rozhodli? Muž a žena se baví o designu firemní vizitky. Pro který design se rozhodli?
Dostali jsme několik designů firemní vizitky. Co myslíš, který z nich je nejlepší?
Ukáž. Myslím, že jméno společnosti by mělo být větší.
Dobrá, tak potom by to měla být některá z těchto.
Správně. Tyhle se mi líbí, protože jméno společnosti je velké a nahoře.
Jedna z nich má místo na fotku. Co myslíš?
Myslím, že to trochu moc zmenšuje text.
To je fakt. Text by byl těžko čitelný s fotkou.
Dobře, vybereme tu druhou.
Want to completely understand everything in your target language? In this guide, you'll learn the top 10 ways to improve your listening skills with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1. Take your very first lesson. The best way to practice listening is to just start listening. Expose yourself to native speakers as much as possible. So, access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to get started. You can do the lessons on the site or on the app while you're on the go. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds and it's free. Then click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2, slow the lesson down. Now, if a conversation is too fast for you, simply adjust the playback speed in the lesson control bar and listen to it again at a slower speed. This will help you understand every word. Another way to pick apart every word that you hear is read along as you listen. Just read along as you listen, and you'll never miss a word. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript that come with every lesson. The lesson notes give you the dialogue, the translations, and in-depth grammar tutorials. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear. You can also read along with the dialogue study tool, which gives you the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation, including the audio and translations. Number 4, listen to the line-by-line breakdown with the very same dialogue study tool. What makes this tool so powerful is you can listen to each line individually and replay it as much as you want until you understand every single word. This is useful for mastering fast conversations that you would miss otherwise. Number 5, listen to the dialogue track. The dialogue track gives you the conversation of that lesson in the target language only, no translations. And you have this tool in every audio lesson. Listen to it and see how much you can understand. Number 6, download the dialogue tracks and make a playlist. This is a great immersion tactic. Download the tracks to your computer or mobile device. Then, play them on a loop to immerse yourself in the language and improve your listening skills. Each track is only about 10 to 30 seconds, so it won't take you long. Number 7, play the vocabulary slideshow. You get the slideshow study tool with all of our audio lessons and vocabulary lists. Click on Start Slideshow. Sit back and listen. You can also play it on loop and immerse yourself in the language. Number 8, get listening assignments from your Premium Plus teacher. You can also get assignments covering reading, writing, speaking, and even listening from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You can get a new one every week or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 9, take the listening comprehension lessons. These lessons are designed to test your listening skills. You'll hear a dialogue in the target language, and based on the dialogue, you'll be asked to answer a question to check if you understood. There are no translations here, except for the subtitles. Read along with the subtitles to understand everything. Number 10, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons from absolute beginner level to advanced, then visit our lesson library. You get instant access to all of the pathways and lessons that will help you master all areas of the language, including listening. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to know how to improve your listening and speaking skills, be able to save conversations, listen to them as many times as you want, and learn hundreds of practical everyday conversations? Well, there is an easy way to do this. In this video, we'll go over how to speak more using the dialogue track. So, what is the dialogue track? The dialogue track is an audio track with just the conversation from the lesson. It's only about 10 to 30 seconds long. Let's say you're looking at a 5-minute lesson about ordering food at a restaurant. First, you hear a conversation. Then our teachers explain every grammar rule and translate every word, so you know what it all means. That's where the dialogue track comes in. It gives you just the conversation. Here's what makes the dialogue track so powerful. First, you can quickly review the conversation without re-listening to the lesson. The dialogue track is just 10 to 30 seconds long, so it won't take you very long to cover both new and old information. This makes it perfect for a quick review of what you've just learned, and it helps keep it fresh in your brain. Second, you'll remember the conversations easier. Listen on repeat, like you would with a song, and the words, phrases, and grammar rules will stick better. And the more you come back to re-listen, the better it will all stick. Third, you'll speak more of your target language. So if you have 10, 20, or 100 dialogue tracks like that, then you have 10, 20, or 100 conversations that you'll know inside out and that you can use in real life. For example, conversations like catching up with friends, ordering at a restaurant, talking about your family, introducing yourself, and much, much more. Fourth, you improve your listening skills and can immerse yourself in the language. So imagine you've finished 20 lessons and you've downloaded 20 dialogue tracks to your phone. That's 20 conversations. You can create a playlist and play those 20 tracks and get used to the language and immerse yourself. To recap what we just learned, here's what you do to make the most of the dialogue tracks. First, after you finish a lesson, download the dialogue track. Save it to your computer or phone so you can listen to it on repeat whenever possible. Just replace 3 to 15 minutes of music listening for some language review. Next, if you've finished 20 lessons, you should have 20 dialogue tracks. Use those to create a playlist of these dialogue tracks so that you can listen to all kinds of conversations. And finally, try shadowing the conversations that you hear. This will become super easy once you've heard the conversation enough times. But if you're still struggling with a word or two, go back to the lesson and check the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation to find the words you need to practice. Boost your speaking skills with the dialogue track and check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! When you start out learning a foreign language, everything is exciting. You pick up new words and basic phrases fairly quickly. The first time you say a greeting or answer the question, "How are you?" you might even get a little thrill. Speaking fluently doesn't feel that far off, and at this point, it really does seem like language learning isn't all that difficult. But after a week or two, things begin to change. After a few weeks of study, you start to hit walls as you're faced with strange grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Everything about learning a new language seemed promising and hopeful before, but now you start to realize how difficult it's going to be. Speaking the language now feels like a long, far-off goal that you may or may not achieve one day. But don't let the innocence of being an absolute beginner or the disillusionment of being an experienced learner discourage you from learning. Speaking a new language may not be as far off as you thought. In this video, we'll look at 3 tips to help you practice your speaking skills, no matter what level you're at. Number 1, practice with native speakers. Practicing with native speakers is by far one of the most effective things you can do to improve your speaking abilities. Think of speaking a foreign language as riding a bike. After a certain point, you can't read or theorize about how to do it. You have to actually do it. If you can practice speaking with native speakers who correct you and give good feedback, then you'll be well on your way to improving your speaking. But where can you find native speakers to practice with? If you live in or near a major city, there's a good chance there are some native speakers there. You might even get lucky and discover an entire community. Do a little research into the demographics of your city, or simply keep your eyes open the next time you go through town. You can also attend a language exchange or cultural event. Meetup is a site for local enthusiast groups, and there are usually some language-speaking clubs or cultural clubs there. If you're unable to find native speakers where you live, then jump online and find them there. There are a lot of free online exchanges that allow you to connect with other language learners from all over the globe via text, audio, or video chat. Look for a speaker who is learning your native language. You can spend an hour or so helping each other in your respective target languages. This is a highly practical and helpful way to learn. It's also a great way to learn more directly about the culture you're studying in a real way. Number 2, devote some time to learning pronunciation. Pronunciation often isn't the first skill people think of working on when learning a foreign language, but that doesn't mean that it isn't important. Truth be told, you don't absolutely need a great accent to speak or understand every language. However, a decent accent can vastly improve your listening and speaking abilities in ways you might not expect. Being able to pronounce words and sounds makes it a lot easier for you to remember and understand new words simply by hearing them. If you can physically make a sound with your mouth, then you can mentally remember it. Once you have a good accent, the new language won't sound as foreign as it once did, and you'll be able to understand rapid speech, as well as pick up the definition of new words based on their conversational context. But how can you improve your accent? If you're serious about developing your accent, then you'll want to dissect the language's sound system into its individual parts. First by letters, then individual words, followed by whole phrases. Start doing some mild research on the phonetics of your target language. You don't have to get too technical here. Just try to get an idea of some of the main differences between it and your native language. Find out where native speakers usually put their tongue while saying certain sounds. Or pay attention to the shape of their mouths when they speak. Is it open or closed? These subtle differences are what really help you improve. Once you get the letters down, start listening to native audio and compare your pronunciation to the native speakers. Our language learning program's playback feature is a great way to accomplish this. Take a phrase from a lesson and start by practicing the individual words, playing the audio back at a slower speed and then again at a regular speed. After comparing your speech to the audio, combine the words to make complete phrases, imitating the intonation of the native speakers. This precise method of pronunciation practice is one of the most efficient and effective ways to learn pronunciation. Number 3, imitate, don't just repeat. Anytime you speak, do your best to imitate the native speakers you've heard and practice with. Match the way their intonation rises and falls. Pay attention to their word order. It's even a good idea to match some of their body language. This degree of imitation will probably feel weird at first, but it reinforces fluency in the language and breaks you out of the parrot trap, where you simply learn and speak through rote memorization or repetition. This is a common problem that's often cited with other less effective language learning methods. Speaking a language is like playing music or dancing. You don't want to just know it. You want to live in the moment and feel it as you use it. You don't sit and think of what you're going to say in your native language before you say it. Why would you expect to do the same in a new one? Don't let ruffled expectations make you think that speaking a new language is impossible. Yes, it's difficult, but it probably isn't as difficult as you think it is. With a little determination and some faithful practice, you might be surprised how quick and how far you can progress. Use these tips to better practice the language and see real results in your speaking abilities. And for even more ways to practice your speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.